This morning we're out here again, Howard Park, West Palm Beach. This morning we're going to do use the Exergenie, which is a similar to sled pull. Have a belt around you, cable behind you, and run these out. I've got the 60-meter version, so I run about 50 meters and give me a little room for deceleration so I don't get yanked back at the end. And then after that, follow that up with a few 80-meter sprints, and then a few 60s. Weather's pretty nice out here today. I'll probably just use this for warm up and then take it off. It's not that cool. So see you in a little bit. Felt like it was tight. I mean, not the belt, the resistance. We'll see how the second one goes. Yeah, that was a tough one. Second one, resistance loosened up a little bit, but yeah, one criticism I've seen on YouTube is that maybe it's not always consistent. Anyway, I got 1 minute to get this in, so. So it's 5 Exergenie runs of about 50 meters. Again, resistance doesn't seem to be, because I'm not changing it on the mechanism, but it does seem to be getting tighter on every workout. And even between intervals, it's not always the same level, but either way, it's still another training tool you can kind of throw into the mix. It does definitely give you some something different than just a straight out running or anything you might do in the weight room as well. So I like it as a tool, maybe every other week or so. Okay, so now we're gonna change shoes and go into the sprint work. I'm gonna change into the Antipus Muscle Runner. Okay, first one was a 12.7. We do have a tailwind today, so that probably is a factor. I will say weather conditions are a factor. I found that generally run faster in warmer weather. Obviously a tailwind is going to help your times. But yeah, I've definitely found much faster. Pretty much, it can be very extremely hot and I'm still doing fine. It's just pretty much when temperatures get below, even into the 60s, it does have an effect. But definitely low 60s or below, you see a slowdown. So, like I said, we got 180 under the belt, 2 more to go, and then I'll do some 60s. I'm just doing a walk-in start on these. Again, I'm a master sprinter. This is just recreational training for health, well into my 50s. So 12.7 again on my second one. Again, these are hand time results since the stopwatch distances aren't even exact. Did have a tape measure. Like I said, it's roughly 82 meters, not really 80, but close enough. It's still the same, one end of the soccer field to the other. So the soccer field doesn't change from one week to the next. Trees and fence posts don't move, so you can still use a marker across workouts, even if it's not the same, not in like an official exact distance, but still the ballpark. Just kind of keep the budget for everything low. Anyway, so we got one more 80, and then we'll move to the 60s. So it ended up being all 3 80s or 82s had the same time of 12.7. Again, I'm rounding these off to the closest tenth of a second, but they were very close. I mean, like 12.68, 12.69 sort of thing. A lot of times when I'm training just flat out intervals, The third interval will be tends to be the fastest of the three, and the first tends to be the slowest of the three. Not 100% of the time, but probably at least 2/3 of the time, 75% of the time. But probably this time, because I did the 5 Exergenie runs beforehand, everything was warmed up already on the first interval, so there really wasn't much improvement to be made. And of course, those Exergenies do take some energy. Okay, the first 60 from a 3-point stance, again on grass. Maybe I'm rushing my intervals a little bit. You're not getting enough rest between, but anyway, it's a 9-1. I think I'm going to try this one just out of curiosity with a walk-in start. Technically, it should be slower because you don't get as much of a push-off. You're not at as low of an angle. But yeah, we'll just try a walk-in start on the second one, and then I'll go back to a 3-point stance on the last one. Okay, maybe relaxed a little too much there, but again, it was a walk-in start. It's a 9-4, actually 9-4-3. So I'm gonna do one more, and I actually might capture here the stance on the 3-point start, just to see how it looks. It probably doesn't look that great, but we'll see. This will be the last one, and then I'll have the fun of breaking down the Exergenie, which is always well, the setup and the teardown is it's an exercise. So it's almost better to have somebody else joining in the training. So the third 60, again from a 3-point stance, was an 8-9-4. So I guess when you say, yeah, the 3-point stance does help a little bit, coming out at a lower angle, even though you're coming from a dead stop versus a little bit of a teeny bit of momentum walking. Either way, the lower angle helps. Might even show you here in the background, got the Exergenie tear down. You've got to take the rope out equally 30 meters out, and then wrap it around your arms to store it. It tends to get tangled on you and you take it out of the bag, but that's part of the downside. Here's the Exergenie when it's fully wrapped up, and then you just stick it in the bag. Ready for next workout. Got to stress now. Yeah, so one thing I do want to point out again, I am a Masters. I do participate in Masters sprint competitions, USATF. You can go to usatf.org to get information on the organization, and then coacho.com and directathletics.com will typically have info on meets. Again, they're typically going to run more in the spring and early summer, so it's off season right now. And then mastersrankings.com actually gives you some metrics if you want to see how you stand. But it's just a recreational activity, just something different to do than going to the gym or playing basketball, tennis, soccer, that sort of thing. Certainly if you did track in high school, this might be something that kind of like deep down, from your younger days, you kind of remember doing. And just a lot of adults over 30 actually don't do this type of training, but if you're going to, so if you're going to do sprint training and you haven't done it in a while, I would certainly suggest you take it, give yourself a good month of just kind of maybe 4 or 6 weeks, maybe even a little bit longer, but definitely well over a month, say, to gradually adjust to doing more intense exercise. So maybe just going at like kind of 75% effort. Doesn't sound good, but you know your body's not used to going all out like I've been doing in these workouts here, but I've been doing this for many years. So if you've just been sitting on the couch and you start doing high intensity work, you're much higher likely to get injured. So take about a month, maybe 6-8 weeks of just doing, like I said, 75% efforts to just get your body used to doing something it'll more than just walking and so forth. And then you can kind of gradually get to a point where you increase. Again, before the warm-up or before the workout, I'm actually doing a dynamic stretching, kind of body weight squats, moving limbs and so forth, and different movement patterns to kind of just warm up your major muscle groups. Do about 5 stride outs, which are kind of a little bit more, slightly faster than a jog, but going out about 60-80 meters. And then do like what's called a set of 8 skips, which is you can see videos on YouTube of how to do those, but not everybody can do those. Anyway, and then at least to get your body somewhat warm before you do a more intense workout. Tail end of the workout, I'll do static stretching, and it's time to go home. Till next workout.